some questions on me, and let's see if we can get people embarrassed, scared, and turned on or turned off, one of the two.
Perfect, man. Perfect. So first of all, I would like to ask you. Of course, I know the answer to the question, but I would like to ask you, who is Troy Olds? Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, man. I'm a regular guy. You know, I'm actually starting to write some stuff up. Some of my live streams I've shared. I'm a chaos kid, but shit, half of America's a chaos kid. What that means is, you know, we were raised in the days of Starsky and Hutch and the Incredible Hulk and TV dinners, and you know, a lot of stuff goes on. Kids who have had any type of an experience in this country have, to a degree, are chaos kids because our families are broken apart a lot of times from either work or divorce, and so mine was that. My family's fabulous, man. I mean, I've got my parents are two of my best friends. They're two of my great teachers. I am not anybody's guru. I'm nobody's freaking doctor. I am my own guru. You are your own guru. I've learned to become personally responsible for my own life. It's my job and my responsibility to take care of my health, my mind, my physicality, my family. You know, those are my responsibilities, and I can't blame the president, the economy, the neighbor, anybody. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, right?
Nice.
And so I just tell folks, that I'm a guy who was a radical addict. I was addicted to everything. At a time back in the dot-com boom when I was married with kids, I tried to stay awake for 2 years straight. And then that didn't work out. So I tried to anesthetize myself and stay asleep for two years. That didn't work well. You know, I tell folks I'm a recovered addict. I'm recovered because I no longer participate in anything mind altering except for what I'm able to create through meditation, personal experiences, and balancing.
Awesome.
That doesn't mean that I'm out of the woods. If I was to ever pick up or reach outside of myself for that, I'd be full blown again. So anything that you can be addicted to, I've been that guy. And now I just love the fact that I'm present. I get to take my painful experiences. I don't regret them. I don't want to relive them, but I get to share with other people, thankfully through this beautiful platform called the internet, my solutions. So I don't talk about shit without having at least, 3 solutions to go along with it, because people have heard enough of the bullshit stories. We've all got our life. We've all got drunkalogs, horrible, shitty stories. We need to get off the fucking, we get off the fucking stories, and we need to start really working into the solutions and showing men and women what we've done about it. Marriage counseling, therapy, 12-step programs, meditation, prayer, taking freaking care of ourselves. That's who I am.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. I love the part where you talked about nobody being responsible for your situation, because I think that's one of the most important things to really change your life, to accept that it's your responsibility, right?
Absolutely, man. Nobody put me in this place. I think that celebrating, like when it sucks and it's painful, I own it. And guess what? When it's really awesome, hey, I played a part in that too. So too many people aren't willing to celebrate themselves. And I want everybody who's watching this, if you're a man, say, I'm a fucking king. And every woman say, I'm a fucking queen, man. And own that stuff, right? Because too many people are trying to say, shut up, you're too cocky. That's baloney, man. People need to start living into the fact that they have divinity in them. They have power in them. And they have everything within their reach to manifest that and to act as such. And so people need to start acting like they're like with a divinity that's within them, instead of the cowards that I was in the past. But we have to learn. We have to go through those phases so that we can become and embody the internal power that we truly have.
Well said, Troy. Well said. Thank you for that. Okay, so what was your career before becoming an online marketer?
I wish it was something super exciting, like I run like marijuana over the borders, like, in a plane, but it's not that at all. I come from a really awesome family, very blue collar, very construction and kind of rednecky. I was raised on 5 acres, horses, cows, chickens, a dog named Tigger. and my dad is one of the last remaining true masonry contractors, masons, stonemason, with real stone. And so I was blessed to get to work into that construction industry. but I also knew in my heart that I'm supposed to be, God gave me a voice and he gave me the gift of influence, which I used for really bad things in the past. And now I use it to try to influence people to love themselves and live a life worth living. But that's what I lived in Alaska with my father for a lot of years. He was one of the largest masonry and concrete contractors up there. We built like Walmarts and Fred Meyers and hospitals on the military bases. So I just had a really beautiful lifestyle, a lot of Budweiser, a lot of bars, a lot of Johnny Cash music,
Cool. So you were talking about influencing people. Is that the reason why you got into online marketing?
When I was really, really young, I was really, really curious, curious about, all these wild things. Like, I was raised a very fundamentalist Christian. So I was very fascinated about the flood, Noah's Ark, how did Jesus walk on water, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so I also saw my parents leave to go to work, and I saw things that didn't really make sense to me, man. And I don't think they make sense to a lot of people even now as adults, that we have a construct that takes us away from the real juice of life. But we all have to go through our experiences. So I was this really curious kid who really saw the world as an incredible place, kind of like Indiana Jones meets the Da Vinci Code meets Goonies, we are this curious, wide-eyed wonder that has stayed within me. But it was only after I was able to go through a lot of life experiences that I had a broad understanding of life, and I have the ability to empathize with a lot of people, not sympathize, empathize with a lot of people, that I finally came to a place where I see some of the stuff that I think is not okay in the world, and I see the things that are beautiful in the world. And what I'm using the internet for is to really shed light on the things that are gorgeous, beautiful within us and without us and all over this planet, and have people look for the good and really de-emphasize the bad. I'm against nothing. I am for people really opening their eyes and pulling those scales off, so to speak, so they can really see this magic place that they're in before they take their last breath, which we all will.
Got it. Exactly. So what attracted you about online marketing? Why didn't you choose to spread your message in any other way?
Oh, it just made sense, I think it's the timing. It was timing because I was raised I became an adult in the 90s, and you remember the dot-com boom, all these billionaires, young billionaires that became billionaires not by contributing into the marketplace, but many of those people were extracting from the marketplace without contributing any value whatsoever. And I got to experience that. Now there are amazing people like Elon Musk, and some of this I stole from an interview with Tim O'Reilly from a Tim Ferriss interview. Brilliant man. But it really resonates with me. Guys like Elon Musk, guys like Steve Jobs, there are people on the planet who are contributing massively in a huge way, and they're earning great money on that. If it was if it was like a tent, a circus tent and a stage and a microphone, I'd be there. But fortunately, we have this beautiful thing called the internet, and from wherever I have an internet connection, I can share a message. And the gift of influence used to be like, do another shot, snort another line, really use it for bad stuff for the first half of my life. Yeah. And I became ashamed of my God-given gifts of a voice, for some reason I happen to be kind of influential and I really love people. And so instead of being ashamed of that and putting it in a box, I've really started doing what all successful people do. I've taken my focus off of things that I suck at, that I'm not very good at, and brought in really amazing people that I love who are good at those. And I stayed really focused on honing my skills to really, really brighten my own God-given gifts, which is my voice, my gift of influence, and the fact that some people like me. There's some people who don't. I promise you that. And be able to share positive point to things that are magic. Unfortunately, too many people get hung up on the fingernail of the pointer. They don't realize it's pointing somewhere. Go there,
Exactly. You're definitely right about that. So you've partially answered the next question, but what inspires you? What else inspires you?
Oh man, this is gonna sound really cheesy, and some of my guy friends are gonna puke in their mouth. But you know, courage inspires me. I mean, watching somebody courageously step up, and because they know they have this inside them, this calling inside them, and they're scared, but they do it anyway. That inspires me. All the way from little tiny kids to 95-year-old people. You know, when I watch people, and you can feel it, you can see when something magic's happening of somebody. When they stand up for themselves, when they were formerly just scared shitless to actually, you know, when they were a walking mat, you know, something to be walked on. When that person finally musters up the self courage and love to say, you know what, this is bullshit. No one talks to me that way anymore. That is inspiring to me. And obviously, beautiful sunsets, beautiful sunrises, campfires with my friends. Occasionally, a well said dirty joke. Who knows? You know, I'm human. That's the stuff that inspires me. People using their minds and using this equipment for things that are awesome and contributive. That turns me on, man. These guys who are just extracting from the market and harming folks because they're unwilling to be courageous enough to go sit their asses in a fucking therapist chair and fix their shit. I think that's one of the weakest forms. I think that's just incredibly weak.
It is. It's a shame that there are a lot of those people out there, right?
There are, and I was one. And so I get to say that. I get to say that because I was one. You know, I swam in that pool and I got out, and I'm grateful.
Amen, brother. Amen. So how do you feel failures, and how do you deal with them?
It's twofold. I've heard it said, you know, don't fail. We shouldn't fail. And by really successful people, they say that. And I've also heard, like Gary Vaynerchuk, fail forward fast. My experience has been, it's all feedback. Now, I felt it was all failure because society said you're failing. But just because you start, and a lot of it is, you can really relate it to companies. You know, I've started a lot of companies, and most of them didn't make it financially. So by society standards, other people would say, and some family members, you failed. And I felt like I failed at the time, but now I look at it as, I don't come from a place of, I have to have a financial win to be okay. I'm okay, and so are you. It took a lot of life and experiences and work to come to a place where it's not about the trophies, it's not about the labels, it's about what's happening inside me, right? And so I do things because I know it's what I'm going to become and what I can contribute, period. And if I don't have people who get pissed off, then I'm really not doing my job. Because, right? Because I'm not here to market and sell you something. I'm here to make you think. And if I'm doing my job right, I know this. We all came here with zero belief systems, zero beliefs. We didn't think that the Steelers were the best team. We didn't think Democrats or Republicans were the best side. We didn't think Russians or Americans were better than the others. That was taught to us, right? And those limiting beliefs and ideologies is what keep people stuck, what keeps people fighting one another, and keeps people killing one another, right? And so my job is to make people question every choice they make, my own included. And by God, I surround myself with people who say really tough shit to me, man. Because I will not tolerate somebody who will yes man my ass, right? They got to go. And so when I bump up against some of my old belief systems that I didn't even know were there, right? But only by being around people who are courageous enough to say what I need to hear and what they see instead of just co-signing my bullshit. Does that make sense? Someone froze up. Either you are or I am. All right. So it looks like Kenneth is froze up. They'll be hopping back on here with the link. All he's got to do is click. I'll send him that link again. Okay, so it's just me. I don't know if you guys can all see this. We're having some connection issues. It's raining like cats and dogs out there, so I'm going to go get me some cats and dogs. But we may have just ended this broadcast. I'm not too sure yet. Okay, I'll send this over to Kenneth. Must be the Netherlands. Can't be us, right? Where you at, buddy? Oh, he's gone completely offline. There we go. We'll see if he logs back on. Until then, hopefully you guys are having a fabulous day. And what's something good to talk about? How about this? I want to market for a moment. I'm going to use this as a marketing moment. So bear with me. I'm actually walking people through for the next 12 weeks, and it starts on a daily basis. So there's no start date. This happens on the daily, because new people are constantly coming in now saying, hey, look, I want to play on how to strip fat, raise their frequency to a high vibration, to not just to survive the holidays, but thrive during the holidays. I think I see him coming back. Are you coming back? There he is.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Don't know what happened. Must be my side of the connection.
Of course it is, because it can't be our side. All right. Let's go, man. What's the next question?
All right, man. So my next question, do you ever doubt yourself, and how do you deal with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Not nearly like I used to. I can share it like this. Because of my history as a young person, I gave myself a label of stupid, not handsome, and really unworthy. Okay. And so those neural pathways got wired down pretty hard to where that's who I was. Now, I showed up as a very gregarious, charming entertainer, performer, but it wasn't me, man. It really wasn't who I am. And so every morning I would wake up, and it would just be like, I'd open my eyes and go, oh God. And it was exhausting, because I had to put on the masks, and I had to go out and I had to perform, and it was exhausting. Hence why I found things outside me to give me energy, which almost killed me. But I've found solutions. I've found principles and fundamentals, and surrounded myself with good people that I sought out. And I learned how to rewire my brain. And about 6 years ago, I remember I would have to wake up prior to 6 years ago. But just before I turned 40, I'm 46 now, I would wake up in the morning, and my ritual was I would get in the shower. I'd get a cup of coffee. I'd get in the shower, and I had a radio, one of those waterproof speakers in my shower, and I would crank on Joel Osteen. And I would just listen to Joel Osteen while I sat there with the hot water running on me. And I would let his words wash away the ass-kicking words that I was sharing with myself, right? And then I took it to another level. I started meditating. And then I took it to a whole nother level when I met Ross Cook, one of my mentors that completely changed my life. He taught me how to go deep within that kingdom of heaven, so to speak. Any spiritual text is the kingdom of heaven. It's within. It's not without, within. And I started re-scripting past traumas, past abuses of all kinds. We all have them. I'm not special. I just went back and I started learning to wrap my arms around myself at every trauma throughout my life in history. And as I did that, I became lighter and lighter and lighter. And one morning I remember waking up. This was about 6 years ago. I remember waking up going, man, I haven't felt shitty for a long time. I feel good. And I felt good for a long time. Right. So it was only through practice. It was practice and associating with the right people. At one point in my life, I cut out everybody from my life, all of them, because I had to figure out what the missing piece was. What was that in my life that was causing me to relapse? That was causing me to stay stuck. And so, you know what I found? Me. It was me. And so I had to start there. And then I got to selectively bring in amazing individuals into my life that I wanted to be like in my own unique way, right? I am myself, but there are people that I see and you see that you truly admire and have that sparkle. And I have those in my life. And so I choose to hang out with those folks. And in real estate investing, they call it, you don't want to be the most expensive house in the neighborhood, right? You want to be the most inexpensive house in the wealthiest neighborhood so that those other homes bring up your value. But you've got to, right? But you better fucking plant flowers, right? Because it's hard to hang out with that type of crowd unless you're serving on them, unless you're doing your best. And so that's what I did. I sought out mentors and I served on them to the best of my ability. And the byproduct of that is I got to be like them in my own unique way.
So you basically had to rebuild yourself. Am I right?
Yeah, every day, man. Well, and it's not like, if you're going to use that terminology, rebuild, I believe that a lot of people, I'll just use myself. You know those little blocks that we had when we were little kids, A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Remember how we used to stack them up and see how tall we could get them?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of us have these experiences where we just don't feel okay. So we take a block over here and we say, this is me. Boom. But it's an invention. It's an invention to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel connected. It's not us. It's not authentic, but we put that first block down, right? And then we start stacking up shit on top of it, another block, because TV said I have to wear this, because that person said I didn't look okay, so I have to do this, right? So we start stacking all these blocks of ourselves that are all inventions, right?
Exactly.
Right. So what I had to do is I had to start taking down the blocks, man. And I learned that we don't have to take them down one at a time. We can go to that first one and just pull it out, right? And then we're good. And then we can start rebuilding on authenticity because we are enough. Here, let me do this. Come on. There we go. How's that?
Awesome. Great stuff, brother. Thank you very much. Over to the next question.
Okay.
What is it that you like least about online marketing?
The least?
Yep.
What I like the least is what I see in other people that I myself possess and have actually done and embodied. Very, very fear-based, dishonest marketing of shit. Bottom line, shit that's not contributing. It's a churning of money. It's not contributing. It's just extracting and trading. And it's trading shit. That's what I see that I dislike about internet marketing the most. It's an amazing platform. It is such an amazing platform, and there's so much beauty and good. I mean, we have access to the most amazing books on the planet, but people are watching freaking YouTube, right? And there's some amazing stuff on YouTube. People have got to understand that our brain is like a hard drive, and we've got to code it with good, positive stuff. And whatever we code it with, we will become. You know, we reap what we sow. What are we sowing into our minds? CNN, Fox News, Bill O'Reilly, for God's sake. Oh my God. You know, we've got to turn that shit off. And so when I go online, I'm very specific about where I go, right? And I had to break the addiction of this thing, man. I had to break the addiction. I'm still in the process. First thing I do in the morning, what I want to do, guess what? I want to reach for this thing. I resist that and I go do other things so I don't immediately start addicting my brain to the dopamine rush of how many likes did I get? Did somebody comment on my shit today? Am I a good boy? That's bullshit, man, right?
It is. Awesome, man. Awesome. So what's the thing you like most about online marketing?
It's connecting with people like you, connecting with there's just magic people out there. Michael Bledsoe, Barbell Shrugged, the Bledsoe Show. He's become a friend. I just saw him on some CrossFit stuff, and I'm not very I don't get starstruck. I get courage struck and passion struck. So when I see a human being, I don't give a shit if it's Elon Musk or the neighbor next door. If they got a sparkle, I want to meet them. And so I've been instrumental and persistent in finding those people that turn me on and connecting with them. And then I want to co-create and play with them, just like in the sandbox. You know what I mean? What can we do? What can we do together? Right. And I say this, people I know, they think, oh, you're talking about Russell Brunson again. Yeah, because Russell Brunson, after a lot of construction and life and failures, I met Russell Brunson. And when we met each other, it was just like two kids in a sandbox, man. It's like, oh my God, he saw the creativity and the kid in me, and I saw the creativity and kid in him. He had just mastered this space of internet marketing. And so I was incredibly blessed to become his friend. And then we did a business project together. It tanked, but the friendship remained, right? And so I love the fact that I get to meet the most brilliant, passionate, awesome people on the planet. If I lived back, turn of the century, I would want to get to know Tesla. I would have wanted to throw potatoes at, Edison. He's just an entrepreneur extractor, man. He contributed shit. But Tesla was this brilliant mind. I would want to meet the people who are really doing amazing things on the planet. And that's what I'm doing now. I want to know all these beautiful people, and I want to see what we can do together as a tribe to affect positive, influential, contributive change instead of just a select few people at the very top of this bullshit pyramid, right? And that's really what I'm up to. And it starts with fat stripping. And but I know this: if I can get people to strip off 16 or 20 pounds of fat pretty quick in a very, very healthy, harmonious way, then I've earned their trust, and I can help them do that deep inner journey work that was taught to me. And when they do that, everything changes. The TV can't motivate you. The internet marketing bullshit can't influence you. You know, because you are driven by something greater, something true.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Awesome. So who inspires you in the online marketing industry? And are there people you model yourself on?
Well, obviously Russell is my friend, and I don't know a lot of the other dudes, man. I really don't. I think Ryan Dice is pretty cool. I thought, and I still think Frank Kern's a pretty hip guy, you know. I think Gary Vaynerchuk's badass. I think that JP Sears is so fun because he presents really great content and attracts people into a healthy and personally responsible lifestyle through humor, which we need more humor in the world. I think Joel Osteen in his ministry is badass. And, you know, that's really it. Some of the most amazing internet marketers, you don't even know them, you know, really. It's kind of like some of the most brilliant sages and the wisest people. They're not the folks. Back up a little bit from your mic. I got some feedback.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You don't even know them because some of them, the wisest, most powerful people, they don't broadcast themselves. They're your neighbor, right? But you don't know it. And so I think that's the reality within this space as well. The most influential, powerful. Again, I highly recommend everybody go to Tim Ferriss's interview of, I think his name is Tim O'Reilly. And he's the guy who really coined and created open source technologies. That interview is absolutely spot on and brilliant. So those are the guys that really turned me on, pushing the envelope, making it more accessible to people like me. You know, I'm a creative, but I don't want to spend all my time creating content. You know, I want to be able to share. When I walked into .com Secrets back in early 2013, it took 11 people or 10 people to be an internet marketer. You had to have a copywriter, you had to have a coder, you had to have a web developer, you had to have somebody who did all these different things so that the internet marketer could be the one guy in bunny slippers. That's bullshit. There was 10 people. And when I saw that, I was like, it was really depressing because like, man, now I can't play. And then ClickFunnels came along. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Russ and Todd Dickerson. They created ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels is drag and drop, point and click. Now I get to play. One guy, you know, putting in the sweat equity, not, you know, it's when I launched my first webinar, I didn't leave my house for 2 weeks. I didn't leave my house for 2 weeks because I couldn't, because I didn't have the money to leave my house for 2 weeks. And I wrote a webinar about how to boost testosterone. And I did that workshop, and I got clients. Boom, baby. And that was how it started. And it was all because of people who created base and technologies that allow more people voice. Now, I'll end with this on that question. You've got this powerful medium of YouTube and Facebook. So great seed. This is a powerful story, and it's a true story. There's a farmer in Iowa who constantly won best seed corn, right? It's like, oh my God, this guy every year won the big prize, which was to win the prize of best seed. And they asked him, how do you win this year after year after year? He says, it's simple. I just give away my best seed. Well, what do you mean? He says, well, my neighbors, you know, they're my neighbors. So I want them to have good seed, right? So I give my best seed to my neighbors so they're growing great seed too. And what happens is when the wind blows, the wind isn't blowing in inferior seed into my land. It's blowing quality seed into my land, right? That's how you're able to sow a beautiful product, whatever it is. Give away your best seed, always. And it's just one of the most fundamental and absolutes. If you give away your best seed, you'll never go wrong. You'll always be taken care of.
That's some great knowledge right there. Awesome, man. Awesome. So over to the next question. What's the greatest thing you've achieved in the online marketing industry?
Greatest thing I've achieved?
Yep.
Well, it's kind of like 12-step programs. It's a microcosm of the macro. You know, it's a miniature of the big, and
Yeah.
and you get feedback. You get constant feedback, and it really knocks off the which is not authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the more you put yourself out there, and there's been live streams. Shit, I did one on my birthday, November 10th. I was not comfortable doing, but I did it, and I got to practice courage, right? And so that my greatest success on the internet would be this. It's showing in people who know me closest that it is possible to earn a living by sharing your expertise through this microphone and this laptop, wherever you're at on the planet. And that success isn't a dollar bill or dollar bills. It's the joy and fulfillment you have in your life, right? Because I've had some extremely lean financial moments, months within internet marketing days, right?
Yeah.
But it was all feedback. It was all lessons and learning. And frankly, I had to go completely broke, like hand the keys over to my car, broke, and almost go homeless, broke, so that I could find, and it was sucked, man. I was screaming and scratching the whole way but I kept going and kept learning the lessons. What needs to be changed in me? What's the lesson here? Until finally it's just like, boom. And you just realize, oh my God, it's not what I thought. And then bringing that new magic into this space and sharing that with people becomes priceless and valuable, right? But those people who hide behind the status and the shit and the labels and all that stuff, they never get to the juice of it, right? And people can feel that. You know, like the skin of a peach? A skin of a peach tastes like shit. But if you eat the skin of the peach with the peach, right, and you get down to the core of it, that tastes sweet. Absolutely. Yeah. Too many people are like running around the surface and the skin of it. And you got to dive deep. You got to be willing to let go of everything. Beliefs, stuff. And man, when you do, it's like Joseph Campbell says, man, it's like then the magic shows up. You know, that's when life starts. That's when it begins.
Awesome, man. Thank you. So let me see. Where were we? If the internet had not existed, what do you think you would be doing right now?
If what? If the internet didn't exist?
Yep.
Well, so I truly believe that, you know, if you guys don't have the power of myth or the Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell, if you haven't gone into that stuff, that there's reasons that we're here. The hero's journey, right? I don't know, but I know this. I'll tell you what I'm incredibly grateful for and proud of, that I think is some of the sweetest stuff and the best of humanity is my former first lady, my children's mother, and my 3 beautiful children. Today at 3:00 are going to distribute turkeys to people who don't have enough food, right?
Oh, really?
They're going to go serve and contribute. And people, I know they're saying, oh, no, that is what matters. We've got to take care of each other, right? So I don't know what that looks like. I just believe that my life is boiled down to 3 things: trust God, clean house, and help others. Trust God, whatever the hell that is for you, you know, but it's, you know, the power greater than ourselves. Clean house doesn't mean vacuum. It means clean up our shit. Get rid of the false beliefs, the dogma, the ideologies, the wounds that we have that we continue to carry forward through fear. Clean that shit up. Clean house and help others. That's it. That's the juice. And if I was doing that, you know, downtown at the homeless shelter, taking care of people, but fuck, I'd be cool with that, man. And I don't know, I might get to do that, but I don't have to today. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a beautiful small circle of friends like Nick Kugelman and Tim, who's on here, Tim Cyber. Good men that we're good, you guys. If you realize that you don't have to be at the top of the 4 seasons in Europe. You just have to go over there and be so contributive and so magnanimous and high frequency that people want you to stay in their home. And you can travel the planet without any money. Your currency is you, right?
That's correct. Definitely. Words of wisdom right here. Thanks a lot, Troy.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so what is your view on investing in yourself as an entrepreneur?
I think it's critical. I think that Jim Rohn, I've been lucky that Jim Rohn, he wrote, or he's got an audio course called The Art of Exceptional Living. In fact, Carson and I were listening to it today. Let me see. Here. It looks like that. The Art of Exceptional Living.
Okay.
The old Idaho boy from Payette, Idaho. And he said something, I've chosen to believe on certain things throughout my life. Things such as knock and it will be opened unto you. Seeking you will find as you believe, right? And Jim Rohn said something that is work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and your job will take care of itself. And I believe that. When life is the most challenging, and I've had this experience where I was so broke, but so blessed and so grateful that when I was so broke, rather than grinding, staying up late and just being scared and creating shit out of fear, I just took care of myself. I went to more 12-step meetings. I put my nose into more spiritual texts. I was surrounding myself with more courageous men who love me, who say what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And I meditate my ass off even to this day. And so I believe that is the key. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and the rest will take care of itself. And people treat themselves like an afterthought. They're pouring rock stars down their throats. They're eating shit processed food that's non-food products. They're listening to the news that is trying to scare the shit out of them, right? You got to be smart. Like Jim Rohn would say, you got to be smarter than that. You know, you got to understand that our media is owned by 3 major corporations, and those corporations want your money. The way to get your money is to tell you that you're broken. But you're broken, but this beer will fix you, this pill will fix you, this car will fix you, this woman or this man will fix you. That's bullshit. You got to be smarter than that. And, turn the shit off. Take things that you choose, high vibrational, high frequency, contributive content. That's why I say, like with Joel Osteen, I tell you what, you might not be a Christian, but I tell you what, he's going to give you good stuff. It's like Mr. Rogers. He loves you. He's going to tell you how cool you are, not what a piece of shit you are. So you got to go buy something and spend your money on shit you don't need. The money, by the way, that you earned by leaving your family, the people that matter most, to go earn money to buy shit you don't need. It's that simple. People just need to legitimately slow down. They need to look at. This is something that Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, he said, you want some badass advice? This is it. When something bad happens, don't look at the bad. Look around for the people who are helping. There are always people helping. Right? Shift in perception, man.
Exactly. So am I summarizing it right by saying that investing in yourself is the most important thing in business? Absolutely, in your opinion?
Man. Truly. And it starts with this vehicle. Buy this, don't buy that. We vote every single day. We vote by what we purchase with our money. And our money is our money. Our money is our life. It's our time. We took a first breath, we're going to take a last breath. That is the precious, priceless thing that we have is our time. And so people need to, again, wake up. Certain things that you put in your body harm you. Certain things that you put in your body heal you. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm investing in myself because this is going to heal my family. This is going to heal my body. I know that inflammation is the #1 cause of disease. If I eat wheat, my knees will swell up and I'll have joint pain. But you know what else it will inflame? My brain. It's a neurotoxin. And I got people around me who are like, but Jesus ate wheat. Yeah, but So, exactly. Right. So life is about being present and awake and thinking, not being a parrot and saying shit that you were told without going, how do you know that? People need to learn to ask, how do you know that? Don't just take shit from your parents or from the president and like that son of a bitch. Jesus, I would spank him and put him in this room, if he was my kid. But yet he's the president saying this to our country. Come on, it's a joke, and people, right? It is incredible. It's incredible that the hypnosis and the power that they've created is so strong. People don't understand that our whole up until TV, Up until TV, there was no real advertising except for giant ass statues, right?
Yeah.
Giant ass statues of people in leadership because that was their billboards. But Sigmund Freud was a psychoanalyst. He wasn't a therapist. He was a psychoanalyst. He asked enough questions of people over many, many years why they're fucked up. That's it. And he wrote down notes, right? And they came to the conclusion. They're scared. And, you know, Edward Bernays was Sigmund's nephew, right? Who's Edward Bernays? Edward Bernays wrote the book Propaganda. Propaganda is the book that every marketing agency in the country and every power that has a motivation runs by. So he went to his uncle and found what motivates people: fear and love, you know, seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. And so if we push the pain button enough and then we offer a solution, they're going to get their money out. They're going to give us their money. They're going to give us their lives. People need to start looking at it like that. You're giving your life to tyrants who don't give a shit about you, right? So start taking care of yourself.
Amen, brother. Amen. All right. Where were we? Let's see.
Love you too, Timothy.
Oh yeah. What do you think makes you a better online marketer?
Authenticity. You know, and I know that's overused. It's overplayed. People use it. Being authentic has become a buzzword for marketers to say, "Hey, look, buy my shit because I'm authentic." We're all authentic to where we're at, but it's when you know that you're putting on a frickin' show, right? And you're not being authentic. That's where things can start to tip. So I think that's what makes people. I don't even consider myself an online marketer. I just consider myself using the tools that are available to me today while I'm here to share my message. And this doesn't happen in a vacuum. This isn't just like, look, self-made man. Man, I got friends, I've got coaches, I've got mentors, I got brothers, I got sisters, you know, I got people who give a shit. I've got parents who, you know, thank God they're still around, because when I tanked, you know, I still had people who would pick me up and help me because I needed help. And thank God I've gone through enough work and therapy to say, to be okay with, I need help. Please help me. And I promise you people will. But if you stay in a victim, below the line bullshit, victim, I'm a victim, it's repulsive. It's repulsive and people will run. But if you sincerely say, fuck, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, will you please help me? People will help you.
Exactly. When you open yourself up, and that's when people will help you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we want to.
Exactly. Great stuff. So what's the number one decision that has brought you the most success as an entrepreneur?
Keep going. There's something inside me, even when I felt like a piece of trash, when I felt unworthy, there was a voice inside me that said, just keep going. And that's been the most priceless and valuable lesson. But the primary above that is to realize that I am a conduit of something greater, and that I'm connected to you and to everything else, and that I get lost in the magic of I don't know, but you know what? I'm curious, and I'm going to keep going forward. And so when I learned that, every morning I have a visualization. I take a bath almost every day, and I meditate, and I meditate for long periods of time, and I balance, and I literally sit in my tub and I hold up a cup like this as a metaphor. And it's, by the way, it's an empty cup. It's an empty cup. And I just say, please use me, fill me with what I need for what? For today, not for tomorrow, for today. That was lost on me, man. I was trying a future trip about 10 years from now. I'm going to be in Beverly Hills. I'm going to have a Rolls Royce. That's bullshit. So now I hold up an empty cup and I say, give me what I need for today. And I take the next right step. And at night, and it's filled. And all I have to do is follow the directions that I receive from that inner journey work. Right. And by nighttime, guess what? That thing's empty again. And the next morning, and at night, I say, thank you. Thank you for such an amazing day. Right. Because now I'm putting out my request. Oh, he likes amazing days. Let's give him another amazing day.
Give me more.
That's right. And tomorrow morning I go, fill it up, baby. I'll do the work. I'll do the footwork. You just give me the directions, man. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
And please, and I want people to there's a tyrant in me, man. People say, oh, you think you're such an angel. No, I burnt my angel wings off in the 90s, man, with debauchery and rock and roll and sex and drugs, man. They're gone. Don't think that. I just know what works and what feels right. And I'm a feel-good junkie. So I like to feel good. So when I piss someone off or I hurt somebody, I like to make amends quickly, right? Because I don't want to hurt them, but I also don't want to hurt. So I've just learned what works, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Great stuff, man. So what's the number one decision you regret making most as an entrepreneur?
Abandoning my children without ever leaving my home. And what I mean by that is baseball games on the phone, son looking over his shoulder, is dad watching me? And I'm turned away from him closing a business deal because I'm a good dad. I abandoned my children without ever leaving my home. The time missed with my children and my family is that's one of my greatest regrets.
I can imagine. All right. So what's your view on networking with other marketers, and how do you go by it?
You have to be around people who are doing it. If you stay in the same area, watching people doing the same thing, here's the thing. It comes down to this. If I'm the same guy tomorrow that I am today, I consider that a massive failure, not okay, right? I don't want to say the same words in the same way from the same place of thought. If I'm not chewing on it constantly and evolving and raising and growing my consciousness, that's not okay. And so you will become like who you hang around. It's just the way it is. They've proven that my thought processes are changing you right now on a physical level. On a physical level, your DNA is changing, your cellular structure is changing just by what I'm thinking, right? Yeah. So imagine when you're around a bunch of people who are fear-based, resentful, what that's doing to you. You will downgrade. So I would rather be alone than around the wrong people, right? So I constantly seek out marketers. We're all marketers. Some of us just have to be doing it on the internet. Everybody's marketing, right? I find people that I love, people that you can feel it. You can tell when people are coming from a place of love or a place of fear. And there's really only two things: fear or love. That's it. So that's awesome. Who I guess I seek out those folks. And a lot of these people nobody even knows, but they're amazing people, and they have just beautiful, juicy lives, man. And that's who I attract to.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So next question. If you could only perform one task per day, which would benefit your online business, which task would it be?
Prayer and balancing, meditation and balancing, period. That's it.
Yeah.
For sure, man, because everything comes from that place. Because what I'm saying balancing, I'm talking about going into that. So think of a fully fertile, fully fertilized, just beautiful field. If you're a farmer, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a beautiful field where you drop a seed in it, boom, it's going to grow into some beautiful fruit, right?
Yeah.
What is more precious and priceless than that? When I can go to that place, and I go there on the daily, because it's so magic and magnificent. And I've planted seeds in the morning, and by night I'm eating the fruit. And so when I love just taking people down that path, and it's not easy to begin with, but when they start to practice it, then it's magic, because that's all these books that you guys have read about. Asking It Is Given, The Law of Attraction, The Secret. It's here, man. And there's a way to get there. There's a way to get there. And that's what I teach that. I was taught that, and I teach that. And I want to teach people so where they can teach it too. Because when more people go into that fertile ground, there's a feeling of home. And I know everybody feels this. We leave home, and forever we're trying to go back home to that safe place of comfort, right? It exists. It exists. It's within you, right? And so when people do that, and they start putting intention and dropping it into that fertile soil, it has to grow. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Don't ask me how. I don't know, but I just know it does.
That's the magic of the universe.
Totally. And here's the other aspect of that. Like, if we knew all the things that were going to happen, we wouldn't want to do it. It's because of the mystery that we stay here and keep going. It's got to be mysterious, and it's got to be wonderful. And it's only wonderful if you're playing. You got to get in.
Exactly. Nice words, my man. So what are the main things you do to stay productive?
Well, again, I chipped away and cut away through prayer, meditation, and all the things we've described, to where I get to a place to where I can just I do what turns me on. And I think when we do what our God-given gifts and passions, when we start, like Alan Watts says, make your work, earn money playing. Learn to earn money by playing. And that's what I do. So it's really easy for me to be motivated on a daily basis because I do what I love. I love what you and I are doing right now. I love to write. I love to learn. I love the fact that after this interview, I'm going to jump on my foam roller and roll out my back so that the energy flows better. You know, I'm going to go for a walk and move the blood. And then I'm going to have my first meal of the day because I've been intermittent fasting. And that first meal, by the way, is fucking amazing. You know,
I can imagine.
Because I treat myself like a king, you know. I don't always act like it, but by balancing and continuing to practice that and do what Jim Rohn said, which is work harder on yourself than you do on your business, the business just takes care of itself, right? So that's what.
Exactly. Nice. So do you think it's better to spend time on mastering your weaknesses or improving your strengths?
No, just work on your strengths. Hire and surround yourself with kick-ass people who have mastered and love your weaknesses. Only surround yourself. Only surround yourself with people who are super skilled at the shit you don't like or not good at, who love it. People need to be playing. You deserve to be working with people who are playing on a daily basis. And so they're literally like being kids in a sandbox, playing, having fun, and only work on your strengths. And I tell you what, everybody in society says you got to work on your weaknesses. That's bullshit. It's the exact opposite. Only work on your strengths. Just take my word for that.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you're only going to waste time and demotivate yourself by working on your weaknesses, right?
Totally. Well, that sucks too, man. God gave you gifts and talents for a reason. And if you guys, for those of you who come from the Christian faith, go in and look at the story of the talents, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll leave that one for you. The guy who just protected his one talent, right? His it was a method of exchange. You know, there were guys who went out and they doubled it, they tripled it, right? It's like, good servant, good servant. The guy that took his talent went out there and just protected it, scared shitless that he's going to lose his talent, right? Mm-hmm. And when it was time to you know, how'd you do? It's like, look, I still have my talent. I didn't lose it. He's like, oh, basically like disgusted. Are you kidding me? You didn't even try? You didn't even go out and try to grow it, you know?
Awesome stuff, man. Awesome.
And that's from like the master himself, man, or itself or herself. I mean, that comes straight down. It's like, you got to go out and try. You can't just stop. You can't play it safe. There is no safe. We're on a fucking rock spinning through space at turning at 1,000 miles an hour around a rock that's boiling hot with sun. That if we go a little bit out or a little bit in, we're done. You're not, hey, just say it. We're safe, right? Go have fun.
Yep. Definitely right about that, my friend. So another thing, what is your primary traffic acquiring strategy?
Facebook, this right here.
Yeah.
Just connecting with people, just connecting, being authentic, sharing shit, attracting your tribe. You know, people who turn me off or go on, and we're not talking to one another. You know, it's not time, or it may not ever, but it's not good or bad. I just share a message that I want to share, and my teachers show up when I'm ready, and I get to be teacher for people who are ready too. It's just it's that simple. You know, you can spend time throwing dollars at stuff, but you know what? I'd rather invest in myself and become something that people are attracted to, rather than throwing marketing dollars, writing pretty words that say I'm something I'm not.
No. I guess it's like you said before, you have to invest in yourself, and business will take care of itself.
That's right.
Awesome. So let's see. What is your number one tip to increase conversions?
Talking to folks. Don't be lazy. You know, I'm naturally kind of like designed to be. I was lazy in the past. If you're going to do a post, and I'm talking to myself right now, y'all can hear it, listen in on this. If you're going to do a live stream, if you're going to do a post, if you're going to put something up there and people are commenting, fucking respond to them. They're connecting with you. They're taking their time, which is their greatest asset, and they're giving it to you by commenting or liking on your stuff. Take the time to just reach out to them. Hey, how are you? Don't sell them anything, because I've done that too. Hey, you like my shit? You want to buy my stuff? That's tacky. I've been that guy. You know what I mean?
Got you. All right, man. So what's your view on branding yourself in the online marketing industry?
I've just recently shifted this. I used to, because I just wasn't thinking, well, I want to create a brand that can go on forever and I can sell because it's a brand, it's not me. That's bullshit. You know how often that happens for everybody? If that's your primary focus and your motivation, I think you're missing it. I'm speaking for myself. That's why it's troyolds.com. It's me, because I'm here, and I have amazing things to share with people. Brand yourself. Brand yourself, your personality. You deserve it. And the market will tell you where you're at. If you're a shithead, they're going to tell you. if you're doing all right, they're going to tell you. And be okay with people sharing their opinion. People call it flaming. People call it haters. No, it's an open door for a conversation, and that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to have a conversation. Why do you believe that? Everybody's walking around in their own model of the world. Everybody, no one else out of 8 billion people sees the world the way I see the world.
Exactly.
There's 8 billion things happening, so honor that person, but that takes a lot of work. It took me a lot of work to get to a place where I was okay and not offended or needed you to like me, to where I could get to a place and hold space for somebody and just get curious, like, wow, he's really mad at me. Why are you mad at me? Man, I really want to understand, because I didn't mean to offend you. Be okay with that, right? And don't hide from it. Be okay with being confrontational. A confrontation is, I want to confront the issue here. There's a barrier between us, and that doesn't feel good. Let's see if we can take that barrier down.
Great. Awesome. All right, man. Thank you very much. So, what are some of your favorite tools for online marketing?
Facebook, phone, a microphone, and a camera. Period.
Very simple, but effective.
Yeah, and friends, amazing friends who help make this happen. Sheila Swinney. Sheila Swinney has done my videos. I didn't do those. I just did the talking. That's what I do. Sheila Swinney did the editing. She's made my videos. She's done some Facebook headers for me. Russell Brunson gave me the microphone that I use. Nicholas Kugelman gave me this camera that I'm using. Those are my favorite assets, and they're not assets. They're my gifts. I used to see people as assets. They're not fucking assets, man. These are gifts. The people are the gifts. Yeah. So when I started looking at that, like how amazingly blessed I am that I got these friends who love me, man. And even when I'm not lovable, they love me. That's a gift, and it's priceless. So those are my favorite gifts of the internet.
Great. All right, man. Over to the next question. Let me see. Where were we? What's the best advice you've ever received in your career?
I don't know if this is the best advice, but it's what's coming to the top of my head. This came from someone I paid a lot of money to, who loves me. And here it is. Maybe you should consider that you don't know what the fuck is really going on. In your life, in business, in your relationships, and even within your own mind. Wow. Chew on that one for a little bit,
Exactly. So what's the worst advice you've ever received in your career?
You will have made it when you have all the stuff.
And why do you say that?
Money is not good or bad. It's what you do with it. And the accumulation of wealth is a beautiful thing, so long as it's brought in through the service, I believe, of others. It's just my opinion. You don't have to believe me or agree with me. I just believe that it goes back down to the farmers, man. If you till the soil, if you fertilize the soil, if you plant the seeds, if you lovingly water the seeds, if you weed the fields, then you're going to be able to harvest what you've sown, reap what you've sown, right? And to just go out and get rich. As an example, we have a privatized prison system in our country that people are motivated by profit to imprison people who fucking shouldn't be there. And that's just one of many, 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 many examples. That's not okay. Contribute, put in the work so that at the end of the day that you did all you could. That's how you feel that sense of pride and accomplishment. And that's how you show others how it's done. We live in a Polaroid microwave like society and it's cheating people out of the juice of why we're even here. We have maybe 80, 90 years really here. Don't fucking waste them. And follow good people, listen to good people, but also follow that still small voice inside you and use the fundamentals and the principles of going in to find that stuff and then go live it. Get the book, get the audio book, The Art of Exceptional Living by Jim Rohn. Just every one of my coaching classes, that's part of the required listening. The Art of Exceptional Living. Think about it. It's the art of exceptional living. And think about this. And less is more, because craftsmanship, where someone's taken the time and passion and love to create something. Oh, how magical, right? And then you have that in your home and you have less, but you have that. And you can say, that's beautiful. That was craftsmanship. Somebody put their soul into that. Whereas you've got this addiction problem in the country. And let's just use like methamphetamines. You know what? Think of the people. Remember what I said earlier? What they think is affecting you and changing you on a molecular structure. Those people who are creating these drugs, think of where they've been and what they're doing, who they're harming. You know, they're creating a drug that is coming over, into our towns and ingested by our friends and our family and our children. Think of the damage being done, right? So that's a little off tangent, but it's something that came to mind. I think it's really important that people understand that they do not know the depth of harm that they are doing to themselves. Exactly. They're literally being driven like a rag doll by energy and intentions that really are not good.
That's really deep, man. Thank you for that.
I got my moments.
So if you could go back in time and start all over again, what would you do differently to make money online?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, because I really, really love where I'm at in my life, and I really, really love me and who I am. And I know that it required everything that I've been, maybe a next trip around, go around, it would be different, but I couldn't change anything, and I've had some radical grief and pain and dark days, years, and I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't relive it. I would choose to relive it. But I wouldn't change a damn thing, man. Not a damn thing, because it brought me here, and I'm having the best time of my life.
Exactly. If you're happy with who you are, you don't have to regret anything, right?
Yeah. I've gone kind of full circle. I don't have to tell you how much money I made in the past. It doesn't even fit anymore. I've had the opportunity to be so broke that, like, in 12-step meetings, like, I got here, that was my job. I don't know how I'm going to get home, and not begging, just saying it like it is, being authentic, which used to scare the shit out of me. If they know I'm broke, I must not be okay. And having people say, go to the gas station, I'll fill up your gas tank. Man, if you've not had the opportunity to receive service, oh my God, give yourself that gift. Give yourself the gift, the humility and the juice and the joy, because as you receive those gifts and that support and that help and that place through honesty and transparency, you will come through that dark area into the light again, and you will be a contribution, and then you get to pay it forward. Trust God, clean house, help others, right? And so it's really simple, man. I overcomplicated it. It's really simple.
Great stuff, man. Thank you. So are there any unaccomplished goals in your life you're still pursuing?
Well, I believe that, and I mean this, I don't want to go today. I really don't. I don't want it to end today. But if it did end today, I'm good with that, because the people that are closest to me know that I love them. They know, I've done the best I can on this day, and so I'm good. Man, I would love to see, people are trying to fix the system that we live in, and I don't want to do that. I want a whole new system. I'm not against that system. I'm just for a whole new group of creatives and passion warriors and courageous kings and queen women, whatever freaking acronym or fluffy word you want to use, creating something brand new. And I think having people like education centers all over the planet with high frequency, high vibrational food, people, education, the fundamentals, that we are visual and we are auditory, we are visualizing and frequency beings. That's it. That's why they control everything by radio waves, TV waves, because that's how we operate. Yeah. And I would love for people to really understand that, so they can start putting the right things in their eyes and their ears and being around frequencies that raise their vibration. So I still choose to be a part of a co-creator in inspiring works that positively impact the world. And I'd love to see it happening through this, because the unintended consequence, by the way, Steve Jobs didn't let his kids play with an iPad. is
Oh,
I
really?
see my kids, everybody's right here, is disconnected them. What if we could put high frequency movies, music, games on these devices that by being in its presence, you're healed and raising your frequency? That's possible, you guys. Like there's so much weird shit existing right now today that you don't know about that would blow your freaking mind. Now, I do know some folks. I know some people that you got to just think about what's possible, right? Because as you believe, why is it that one person says like, boom, they're miraculously healed while the other person goes to the grave? Some of it's a calling that's going to happen no matter what. But this one person believed that they could be healed, and they're healed financially, relationally, physically, emotionally, right? Right now.
Exactly. Oh,
So
man,
that's what I did.
this is getting deeper and deeper by the minute. I'm loving it.
Yeah, and I don't even eat mushrooms anymore.
Awesome. Okay, so we're coming to an end of the interview. I have two more questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, let's see. How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as an online marketer based on your online marketing knowledge?
Fucking 10, dude, for sure. A 10 for what I know, because I'm utilizing everything that I have at my fingertips with where I'm at right now. I'm not waiting for the big green screens. I'm not waiting for the massive technologies and the new, cameras to do this stuff. I'm doing the best I can with what I have right where I'm at. And so I give myself a 10. If I was lacking in an area, it's not, no, I give myself a 10. Now, am I the best internet marketer? Hell no. Everybody knows that. Anybody who knows Russell or Frank or Ryan, they know that. But for who I am and where I'm at, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And what's happening is this beautiful grassroots movement is starting to happen. It's starting to have this ripple effect where people are starting to wake up themselves and take fundamentals and principles that are not mine. They're timeless, that I choose to share. And then they're picking them up and they're remembering is what's happening. Oh, I remember. I want to share you a story with you really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a little boy about 4 years old, and his parents bring home this brand new little baby, right? His little brother, right? And after dinner, they take the baby, they put him in his bassinet in the room, right? And the 4-year-old comes sneaking in after mom and dad leave, and he crawls up on the crib, and he looks at his little brother, who's brand new baby. He goes, brother, tell me again about heaven. I'm starting to forget. I believe that people are remembering and waking up. I know that's happening because I'm watching it happen all over. And it's happening through people going through massive pain and challenges because that as their ideologies and their messed up belief systems that are harming them fall away. But if it's all you've known, shit, the familiar feels great, even if it's harming you. What's scary is the unknown. But the reality is that's where life begins. Like Ross Cook constantly told me, he says, you've got to go where there are no longer handrails. There's no handrails in the magic. There's no handrails in living, in truly living, right?
Yep.
And
in the dark.
You got to go where it's darkest, and you got to go alone.
That's what I was going to say. Awesome. So last question. Would you like to share with us any personal or business future plans or goals?
Sure. I'm running an event here in Idaho, in McCall, Idaho. It's a radical transformational event. We're going to cover food supplementation, but really focus on personal responsibility and inner journey work, because I know that that's the key. That's in January, so that's coming right up. Got a lot of work to do, and so that's the big event. And I see traveling and just doing a lot of speaking, a lot of teaching, and I want to be taught. There's so much to know, and that's what turns me on, to learn and teach, like this, to seek. And I just know this is true. When you seek, you will find. You always get what you're looking for, and energy flows where attention goes. It's all that stuff is real, man. And so tomorrow I want to wake up and say, okay, forget everything. I know nothing, you know, and I do that imperfectly, man. But I endeavor.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome. Well, that was the last question. Shamefully, the interview is ending. I was hoping it could go on forever because I actually learned a lot from you, man. I would like to thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the time and effort. You're awesome.
Kenneth, man, thanks for your friendships. You know, thanks for being a blessing in my life, and thank you for stepping up and being courageous and sharing your voice, man. The world needs more people being no bullshit authentic, man, and sharing the good stuff. So anytime,
I'm doing
man,
my best.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a nice day.
Message me later on, man. We'll download the interview and we'll look at what's next, man. Sound good? We'll push the envelope and scare the shit out of you more. So you're pushing the
Of course. Thanks a lot, man.
Cheers,
Speak
bro.
to you
Love
soon.
you.
All right. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.